Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Ana Marie Solano. Welcome to the Humorous Speech Contest of the Toastmaster District Information for the Central and South America. I will be the Toastmaster of the day and also your contest chair. Today, we test the ability of our members through a friendly contest, which takes the winner to the next level. We have an amazing panelist led by Fernando Serrania is the one that will help us to select the winner. Before we commence the contest, we have to remind ourselves of some rules under which these contests are held. The contest and certain are have the brief of this rule by the chair contest. The contest tally counters and timer have the bricks also. The contestants have draw their speech order as follow rules. We will repeat the name twice and the title also, and the title and the name. The contestant will be Eliseo Baccaro, Maria Teresa Pago, and James Pluckett. At the beginning of the contest, I received the news of Paula Pascal at the time that we just started that unfortunately for a family issue, she cannot be in this call, a delicate medical team that she just sent us the notification. Contestants are permitted to remain in the house through the duration of the contest. Contestants should ensure the proper internet connection, enough light, and be aware of the surroundings. Contestants must organize their speaking place so they are visible through the camera through their speech duration. Contestants should ensure the proper audio and video setup before they start the speech. The contestants were instructed to the individuals on the profile name and standards. Contestants are not permitted to change their profile name during the contest prior taking the approval from the contest chair. When introduced to give the speech, ensure that the video and the audio be switched to open and select the Zoom Master will select the pin video. At the time, you will see also the timer. The contestant will be not able to complete unless they are able to share their video and be visible and the audio to all. In the case that a technology failure and the chief just determined that the contestant can no longer continue due to the lack of contestant or contest official, the contest will be reconvened at the later time or day. If the contestant has internet issue just before they begin the speech, they will begin at one of change of 3 minutes to log back into their speech. No extra overtime will be given to the contestant in this case. During a technology failure also affect the contestant is required to communicate to the contest chair via WhatsApp or phone. Each contestant will be introduced by announcing the contestant name, the speech, the title, and the name. Upon being introduced, the contestant should immediate to the speaking position. We will have like an app with determine this the position of each participant. The speech should begin with a short time after arriving at this speaking district contest. The contestant must not refer another contestant or a speech presented by another contestant from the platform at the same contest in which they are competing. The speech should be 5 to 7 minutes. Contestants who speak less than the 4 minutes 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes 30 seconds will be disqualified. Timer indicates you are using your cell phone. For the timing, please put it in Do Not Disturb or airplane mode. The timer will allow the speaker to be ready upon reaching the speaking position and will only be reading for the time after hearing the formal introduction of the speaker by the contest chair. Green light will be displayed at 5 minutes and remain displayed for 1 minute. The amber signal will be displayed at 6 minutes and remain displayed for 1 minute. The red line signal will be displayed at 7 minutes and remain displayed until the speech concludes. No audio device will be used to indicate the over time period. There will be 1 minute of silence between the contestants during which the judge will mark their ballots. 3 minutes silence will be observed at the end of the contestants to help the judge to complete their ballot and hand them to the tally counters. Chief judges will be asked if more time is needed once time is up. Ladies and gentlemen, just remember that silence is a virtue. Prior to announce the winners, and will be made, we'll have a period in order that the chief judge mention if the time disqualification occurred, but the name of the contestant will not be revealed. Some additional reminders. Avoid entering or leaving the contest room back and forth. Also, the chat box is enabled to the host and the co-host only. It's not recommended to use the chat during the speech to avoid distraction. Protests concerning original and eligibility will be limited to the judge and the contestant only. Any protestant may be lodged with the chief judge or the contest person prior to the announcement of the winners. All the decisions of the judges are final. Are any questions at this point? Okay. Otherwise, contestant, are you ready? Okay. Timer, are you ready? I think that she is. Audience, are you ready? Let's the best win this contest. I will share right now my screen just to select the positions of the contestants. Just give me a second. Zoom Master, could you please enable me to share my screen? I will remove in this moment Paola on the tool. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see which will be the first position. Okay, the first position is to Maria Vago. The second will be James Plunkett. And the third one will be Eliseo Vaquero. I will invite the first contestant, Maria Tevago, who will introduce herself. Maria Teresa Vago, a doctor assistant, Maria Teresa Vago.
When I started at the job, I thought I was just going to be the Dr. Carrozza's secretary. And I was the first year. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Carrozza, an excellent and very well-known neurologist, was 74, the kindest and most humane person I had ever met, who did not charge half his patients. And his office showed it. He saw his patients in a big wide room with a beautiful green view, but the door to the bathroom was in the room, so it couldn't be used when he was busy. If a patient in the waiting room asked, what I dreaded, can I go to the toilet, please? I was the one in charge of saying no. So use the technique of the nuns in school. You can, but unfortunately you may not. There is a patient with a doctor now, and that's where the toilet is. I'm sorry. Of course, the nuns in school didn't say sorry, nor unfortunately. They just said, you can, but you may not. The waiting room was closet size. There were 2 chairs besides mine at the desk, but if an elderly couple arrived with a son or daughter, which was very usual, I had to give up my chair. So I had 2 options. Remain standing against the wall with no access to my computer, because there was nothing to sit on, or retire into the kitchen. The kitchen was lipstick size. There was a stool, but it had a huge, heavy metal box full of files on it, and I had to remain standing. So for lack of anything to do, I exercised sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4. As there was no intercom connecting us, Dr. Carrozza would often dash into the kitchen and whisper very softly, for everything could be heard from the waiting room, and I would give him whatever he needed. As soon as he left, I kept on. 5, 6, 7, 8. One evening that he had particularly dashed in very often, he just brought a paper on which he had scribbled, no Jim in here. But as days and weeks went by, Dr. Carrozza and I made friends. If there were no patients at tea time, he would send me to buy pastries and we would have tea together. As soon as I sat down, he'd say, talk to me. So he was the very first to hear my icebreaker. The second year, he announced, from now on, you're also going to be my assistant. No salary raise, though. I have Parkinson's, I cannot write well. So you will come in with the patients, they'll file a pen, and you will write down everything they say. He explained to each patient that I was finishing medicine. The very first patient, a very elegant lady, said she suffered from dizzy spells. I wrote dutifully dizzy spells. And when, on what occasions do you have dizzy spells? When I have sex. When the patient has sex. What position are you in when you have sex? I'm on top. Patient on top. Then Dr. Carrozza proceeded to try her reflexes, had me write an order for a brain scan and other exams, and recommended to try sleeping with one of those pillows that have two waves and are good for the cervical vertebrae. Next appointment, the elegant lady brought the exams and declared, Dr. Carrozza, you are a genius. I bought that pillow and the dizzy spells are gone. I must make clear, I do not sell pillows, neither my husband does, no. As a doctor's assistant, I realized that all the anonymous jokes we find in the internet, two of which I'm going to tell you now, are very similar to real life. Many elderly people have memory problems. Mrs. Lorna Murray, a 74-year-old darling, 84, said, so, doctor, I have a problem, a serious problem. I can't remember a thing. All right, Mrs. Murray. Since when have you been having this problem? What problem, doctor? So many teas, many patients, teas and pastries later, doctor announced that he had to close the office. I was busy on the telephone deriving patients to other colleagues when a desperate young man asked urgently for an appointment. I said we were closing up, but to no avail. So Dr. Carrozza finally agreed to see him. Doctor, I'm very, very depressed. My psychiatrist wants to make sure I have no neurological problem before he medicates. All right, you can start by cutting down on drink. I don't drink, doctor. Cut down on smoking. I do not smoke. Stop taking drugs then. I don't do drugs. Womanizing. I've never touched a woman in my life. Son, buy yourself a drink, learn to smoke, and get yourself a girlfriend. No wonder you are depressed. And that was my last day as a doctor's assistant. Toastmaster.
Thanks, Maria. Timer, could you please help us with 1 minute?
Time is over.
Thank you so much, Timer. I will call our next participant, James Lockett. James, do you see the timer?
Yes, I can see the timer.
Thank you. Oh, James Lockett. AI, who am I? James Lockett.
AI? Artificial intelligence? Well, gee, I always thought that was something else, but who am I? I got involved in this artificial intelligence thing a while back, and I didn't realize it. I mean, it was quite interesting. It attracted my attention. So I said, well, maybe it's just a hoax, but maybe it's worth a try. I don't know. So I signed up for it, and all of a sudden, wow, my life changed. I didn't know what it did. It was really something, but I just wanted to share a few things with you today to give you an idea of what it's done to me. So please let me share the screen here if I can, but I'll be right with you. And I want to show you a few things that has really changed my life. And it's quite a change for me. Let me say that. Now, can you all see the screen? Can anybody see the screen?
No.
You can't see the screen. You can't see the screen yet?
No,
Okay, let me see.
it's working right now.
You can see it? Fine, fine. All right, well, this was my first experience. I was called upon as a Toastmaster one time because the wealthiest man in the United States, David Rockefeller, was coming to Lima because he was concerned about some of his investments with a local bank they had bought here. And at the luncheon of the chamber, he was our guest of honor. And I was asked to be the Toastmaster. Hey, you belong to that club, don't you? I said, yeah. Hey, please, the guy who was supposed to be the master of ceremonies couldn't make it. We need to, okay, so I volunteered, went up there, and I introduced him. And it turns out that we were both born in the same place in New York. So we started a little friendship. Well, it turns out with this artificial intelligence thing, I get involved with the Rockefeller thing, and all this money I've been saving all my life in a savings accounts, getting 2 or 3% interest and all that, nothing. And all of a sudden, they channel all my money through the Rockefeller group. And before you know it, I'm a millionaire. I couldn't believe it. Thanks to artificial intelligence. Well, it was really something. I'll tell you something right now. I just couldn't believe it. But anyhow, the next thing that happened was this. I started thinking, really, who am I? Who am I? Am I really the person that they think I am? Well, I started investigating and I found out that, yeah, my family goes back quite a ways. This guy here was grandfather of a great grandfather of another grandfather. I don't know. But it turns out that, yeah, we started at the cave like a lot of other people did. I don't know, but that's a story. But there he is. Finally, a little boy named Jimmy was born in New York. Such a cute little guy, you know. Oh, so sweet, you know. Well, yeah, that looks a little bit like me. I used to do that. And then I started growing up, and at 5 years old, I got my first bicycle. Oh, I always wanted a bike. I was so happy to have my first bicycle, and it was time to go to school. It was my first time in school, and my parents put me, for some reason, in a Catholic school for boys. And I didn't see one girl in the whole classroom. I just couldn't believe it. I don't know what happened. Because, you know, I liked girls, like I think most people do. No, don't you? But this is my first teacher, Sister Frances Xavier. She was lovely, and I loved her. And she kind of liked me because after class, she's, Jimmy, would you please clean the blackboard for me? Oh, yes, sister. Thank you so much. I'll be glad to have. So I became her little favorite. So that worked out pretty well. And then time went by. It was time for something more important. I got my first car. My father was in the Chevrolet business, and he sold a brand new car to a couple of old ladies. And these old ladies turned in this old car they had for years, and they had never taken it out in the rain. And my father gave them $100 credit for it. And so I said, hey, Dad, listen, I got my driver's license the other day. I need a car. You willing to sell it? Yeah, okay, $100. Okay, hey, great. So I got my first car for $100. Can you believe it? It was great. But then later it was time to go into the military, because I was right between two wars, Vietnam and Korea, and I had to serve. So I wanted the best. So I said, I don't want to go in the Army. I want to go in the best. So I said, I chose the Marines. So I signed up for the Marines, and I had a good experience. And Well, before I went in the Marines, I ended up in Lima, Peru, because a classmate of mine, a Peruvian, invited me down for Christmas, and I loved it. I fell in love. And one of his sisters invited, and she introduced me to a beautiful Peruvian girl, and we got married eventually. And it was just quite an experience. After I'd finished my term in the Philippines and Japan with the Marines, I flew to Lima, we got married, and we ended up in the States. And when we finished the Marines, I got my first job with the big oil company, Humble Oil and Refining Company. But what happened? We got started with my job. I loved it and everything for about a year. We had 2 little boys, meanwhile. And then she got homesick. Oh, I want to go back to Peru. I miss my people. I miss my country. So I said, oh, okay. So I resigned and we went to Lima and we started a new life together. It was quite an experience. But then what happened? Unfortunately, she got hit with a cancer situation and we lost her after 43 years of marriage. And one day I went to my Toastmasters meeting, and who's sitting there but as a guest, but the Chinese girl from Beijing. And I said, who's she? So, well, it turns out that one of my best Toastmasters friends had invited her as a guest. She liked it. She joined the club. She started giving speeches and winning contests and things. Wow. And she was married to a Chinese guy, and he was supposed to come over to Peru to follow her and start a business, but he got homesick. He didn't want to come and leave his country. So he suggested they get a divorce. They got divorced. So she was single, I was single. One thing led to another. Hey, we get married? Okay, great. But it's going to be difficult because Peru, with all the paperwork, we're both foreigners. Hey, how about we go to Las Vegas? Ah, yeah, okay. Hey, so we went to Las Vegas. We got married in Las Vegas. That was quite a thing. And the years went by. We've been married 19 years now. And we're together all the time. You see, all the time. Even during the pandemic, we're together. Oh, boy, I'll tell you. Oh, what an experience that was. I don't want to go through that again. So I just want to say that this artificial intelligence can really lead you into some great things. And I recommend it highly to all of you. Salud. Good luck. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Mrs. Timer, could you please help us with 1 minute?
Time is over.
Thank you so much. I will call our next contestants, Eliseo. Eliseo, do you see the timer at this moment?
Yes, I can see.
Well, Eliseo Vaquero, long journey. Eliseo Vaquero, with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in the thrilling day of a typical working in a Latin American city when they use a public transport. You wake up so early, just take a shower and eat your breakfast, and go quickly to the bus stop. And just you start to see your bus transport application, but you know, the bus schedule is just a suggestion. Always is late a bus in the bus stop. But when you are going there and you are in the bus, you have 3 stages. Once in what the bus is crowded, and just you are grabbed into the bus handle, and you feel like a sardine in a can, and you are like this. But suddenly, the second stage is when you have more space and you can at least move a little, but you are like in an awkward dance. You are again grab the bus handle and the bus just stop and you start to move. And everyone is like a synchronized in the bus, just in the same corridor. And sometimes you can also listen some music and someone is humming a song. But the third stage is different. It's when the corridor is completely free or almost free for you. And you feel like you are in a race. What in a race? Because again, the bus is at full speed and you start to feel like it's more faster than the previous one, it's much faster, and just stop in some of the main stations. But when you go in, you are in one group, the lucky ones or the unlucky. What are the lucky ones in that case? It's that people who have gotten a seat. And for any reason, I don't understand. In that moment, the most captivating game in the multiverse is Candy Crush. And they start just to listen the smartphone and isolate to the rest of the world. And they play Candy Crush like really, like no more is important in the life. And in my case, I just not in that group. Unfortunately, I'm in the unlucky person. Usually, I just in the corridor. But I start to think they have like a collective agreement because they feel isolated to everyone because they don't want to listen that voice when someone asks, can you please give the seat to the elder lady or the pregnant woman? And they don't just they just continue to see the smartphone. They don't pay attention to the rest of the world. Just they are just denying who someone is talking to them. And everyone is just waiting to someone just give that seat to the pregnant one. But also sometimes it's really crazy when you are in the public transport because someone is going to the bus and you start to listen delicious snacks or sweet candies. And in that moment, I start also to listen to voices in my head. One is, tell me this. Remember, this is not healthy food. You don't spend your money in that. But in my other part of my head is the second voice. It's like a bad goblin. And told me, remember, this is a delicious candy and it's cheap. You can buy and you can have some happiness. And I was there waiting in the bus, in the corridor. I start to think, well, I'm unlucky, but maybe I can have a little fun with that kind of snacks. But did you know, I in that moment when I say, okay, I have two options to spend that money or just to wait to arrive to the office. But here is when I can give you some advices if you want to continue in your long journey. Just two options for you if you are like in the unlucky group. First, probably if just you want to isolate, just buy some headphones. And just with those headphones, you can just hum in a song and listen music and feel isolated. Or the second one is easier. Just learn how to play Candy Crush with just one hand. because if you do that, maybe you are more happy in the public transport. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thanks. Timer, could you please help us with 3 minutes in order that the judges can make their results?
Time over.
Is 3 minutes?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Ready.
If Josh, are we ready with the results or do you require more time?
Just a moment, please.
Okay, at this moment, in this particular moment, I would want to call the contestant to see their impression, how they feel after this contest. I will start with the lady. Maria Teresa, how do you feel with this contest? After you just finish.
Well, I thought I was fine, but this morning, my pressure was up to the sky. It was soaring. So I wasn't such at ease as I thought I was. But it's good to to have to feel a little nervous.
Thank you so much for. James, do you feel nervous in this contest?
I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. I just You know, for breakfast, I had 3 pisco sours, and I don't usually drink alcohol, especially alcohol for breakfast. That's ridiculous. I usually have eggs and bacon or something like that. But this morning, I said, no, I can't go to that thing without having a drink. But there was still some left in the bottle, so I had another one, and then I had a third one. So I don't know. I hope you understood what I said, because I don't remember a word that I said.
I enjoy the pictures. Eliseo, do you feel some kind of nervous? What did you eat this morning?
Okay, usually I eat as just bread, some eggs, chocolate.
Okay, as usual, simple as usual.
Yeah, simple as usual. Uh-huh.
One question. I start to timing, take the timing again, or it's okay?
We are just waiting to the chief judge in order that they
Okay,
tell us if when they are ready. In the
okay.
meantime, the Zoom master can please put the video that you request. Pues, jefe, ¿cómo vamos con los resultados?
I'm still waiting for 3 ballots.
Ok.
On the chair, would you
Yes.
like to me to share the video again in the meanwhile?
Okay, perfect.
I will try to share the audio also.
Entonces, sure, we're still waiting, just 1 ballot.
Okay.
Please be patient.
Thank you so much for the advice. Okay, someone proposed a table topics to kill some time. Let's see. Well, let's talk about some culture thing. Do anyone want to mention how in your own country you celebrate the summertime? Or maybe let's change the question. Let's say, how do you celebrate like the end of the year in your country? Do anyone want to answer that question? Okay, Alexander. You're on mute.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, how do I spend Christmas in my country? I am from Jamaica. I now live in Florida, but I'm going to go back to Jamaica and tell you how I spend Christmas there. Completely different. Number one, I grew up in a poor environment. Never had a Christmas tree. Seldom get a Christmas gift. If I got one, oh my gosh, it was the end of the world. I was happy as can be. We never had all the excitement that they do here in the States. However, Santa Claus did show up in Jamaica. This was strange to me. Guy comes on a plane and he travels from the airport to the city, the center of Kingston, and Jamaicans line the road to see the Santa Claus. Then he would be throwing candies to the people lining the street. As a boy, I thought, man, these candies were good. We never used to have them before. However, there was usually a special cooking period. We make Christmas cake. Oh my gosh. After they make the batter, scrape everything out, I had the dish to go finish cleaning. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. And after the Christmas pudding was made, we also made a drink. It's called syrup. I think in Spanish, the word is Flores de Jamaica, flowers of Jamaica. We make this drink with a little, tip it with a little alcohol and some sugar. It was delicious. It's part of our tradition. Wherever Jamaicans are, we make Christmas cake and syrup for Christmas. So, Madam Contest Chair, that is how I spent my Christmas in Jamaica.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Chief Judge, are we ready?
Not yet.
Okay, I will send a reminder to every judge. Please send The result to the chief judge is missing one judge at this point, and we require this to have the results of the contest. Okay, I will go with another question. Maybe the question can be, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, how does the dinner looks like? Who want to answer that question? Or maybe if not, is Thanksgiving another celebration in your own country?
Oh.
Okay, James.
Well, listen, I mean, actually, I had to be truthful with you because in Peru, they've only started celebrating the Thanksgiving in recent years, but I always like to look back when I was a young guy in New England, where I was raised. And boy, that's where they have these big, long tables, and they're just loaded with all kinds of turkey and baked ham and vegetables, squash, and all delicious things you cannot imagine. It goes on and on and on and on. So, as I said before, it's nice to be together on Thanksgiving in Peru. And everybody seems to be wanting to celebrate this occasion, even though it's not really a Peruvian celebration. But in general, it's a wonderful opportunity to be with friends and family and to enjoy that turkey. You know what I mean? It's only practically once a year that we have a chance to taste the turkey. So, and then we have this thing called pumpkin. And we have pumpkins in Peru. They were imported probably to celebrate Thanksgiving years ago, but pumpkin pie and all these other desserts and things. So Thanksgiving is really a special time, and I enjoy it. And I'm sure that most of you do too.
Thank you so much. I will ask again to the Chief Judge if we are ready. Chief Judge, are we ready with the results?
Ay, Madre Santísima Cristo.
I am already sending you the results by
Okay,
private chat.
thank you so much.
Okay, Contessure, do you see the results?
See it?
They are in your chat. I just want to mention one of the contestants was disqualified due time.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thanks, I receive it. I will read first before announcing the results of our participants. I will read the certificate of participant of the staff. At the end of this contest, both contests, we will have two, one in English and one in Spanish. After the contest end, I will share via email or WhatsApp the contest certificate for each member of the staff. It will look like this. Zoom Master, could you please help me to habilitate the share screen?
Now you can share screen.
Thank you so much. You will receive, each of the staff will receive a certificate like looks like this one. I will mention if of the staff of this session. The Zoom Master is Maximo Tomasella. The Chief Judge, you see it in the screen, Fernando Serrania. The first timer is Lucina Vasquez. The second timer is Alexis Pelayo. The first ballot counter is Monica Acevedo. And the second one is Miriam Garcia. Thank you so much for your participation. Okay, I will look if the tool have ready the certificates to mention the position of each of the contestants. Okay, are you ready with the results? Okay, I will pull up the results. Let me share my screen. In the second place, we will have Maria Teresa Vago. And are you ready for the first place of this contest? I will send also each of the certificate after the contest, and the first place will be for Eliseo Vaquero. Great humorous contest. Thank you so much for your time and your patience. Well, a heavy congratulations from each contestant. I will call the winner of the contest to give us some words. Eliseo.
Oh, hi, Mari. Yes, I win not a lot of words and now because I wake up, I am not expected to win. I prefer the speech, but I feel everyone, when you are in a speech, you confuse sometimes part of the speech and you combine it. Finally, it's something completely different, like you practice a lot. But thanks to everyone to just be with me in this contest and to have the patience with me to wait the final result.
Thank you so much for your words. Thank you, every one of you, for make possible this district information contest. This year, we will have the opportunity to have the humorous speaking contest. Maybe next year will be a different one. Thank you so much for your hard work and your participation in this contest. Well, the contest has ended. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Zoom Master, could you please take off the record?